Do you guys remember your childhood? When we were young, our parents were ecstatic with everything that we did. From saying our first words to riding our first bike, these moments made them feel happy and excited about our future. The same sentiment is being shared by some economists toward the Fed. How, you might ask? Well, it's only been a few months, but they say that inflation has been resolved and that the rate hikes should now stop. For those who are having to carefully budget their wages, to households who swipe their credit cards just to get by, is it safe to think that inflation has now been solved? And if they wanted to solve something, why not solve theft? Some stores are now considering locking up food because they're being stolen so much. And shortages are expected with poultry, as food supplies for them are running frighteningly low. That means that if these animals don't eat, neither do we. Now, it's scary to think that we won't last a few months without food. Now, before I continue, please take a second, drop a like for the video. That really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. It's been a little touch and go lately these past few weeks, but I'm trying to get the truth out to you guys. Now, if you guys are looking for your daily dose of the truth when it comes to Washington, D.C., the stock market, the housing market, the true state of our economy, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and everything in between, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys dropping a like for the videos. Also, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. The link is in the description down below this video. You guys know that times are tough, even when banks are feeling the pain, right? Goldman Sachs has a lot of success with their credit cards, opening up many profitable opportunities for them, one of which has been through the Apple Card. Yes, the Apple Card. However, losses are now becoming a norm with this new division. Consumers can hardly keep up with the interest rates as it is. And since the Fed continues their battle with inflation, credit cards are also being affected. More people are now unable to service their debts. Real wages have also gone down for the 21st straight month. This should then leave out all the questions as to why more Americans continue to have less in their savings, with some even using up all of it with little to show for it. A majority of households can't even afford a $400 emergency. What makes you think that they're going to be able to afford to pay off their debt? But if you ask other people, the Fed has finally gotten us right back to where we needed to be. And no, inflation still is not at 2%. And the workers will continue to be included in mass layoffs across housing, real estate, and other markets that's preparing to face a recession in 2023. But we shouldn't worry because Dean said everything's all right? You know Dean, right? Dean Baker, senior economist at the Center of Economic and Policy Research. He just said that it's time for the Fed to declare victory and stop rate hikes. Now, hold your horses, fellas. It's not like consumers can feel it yet. But yeah, there are economists that continue to push the Fed to reverse course now, to pivot, to turn the money printing machines back on, and to focus on lowering interest rates. Kind of like how we got in this mess to begin with. Now, let's be honest here, because I know that you and I can both be honest. Do you honestly believe that inflation is just at 6.5%? When they said it was 8, 9%, do you really believe them? I mean, it's so hard to believe everything that we hear because a lot of it's being manipulated. We're the ones in Target. We are the ones shopping in Costco, Target, or to be frank, any place that sells food. We see the prices going up on a regular basis. But yeah, we should go ahead and rejoice that the Fed is getting us out of this problem that they all started. Now, I'm not saying that, I can expect the Fed to pivot. I think they have more sense than that. But I am expecting them to tone down the rate hikes to at least 25 basis points or so. I'm also expecting a chicken shortage very soon since corn shipments are running late and it's killing poultry. Now, I'm not sure why the rail service is poor or why they haven't chosen a different way to ship corn for these chickens, but millions are going unfed. But here's a very sad fact about chickens, and I don't know if you guys knew this. They start killing each other when they go hungry. I wonder if humans will do the same. Foster farms directly hurt by the delays have asked rail regulators to intervene in this case, citing that transportation company Union Pacific was the cause of their troubles. In a letter, the company said this, quote, "These service failures, which began in February 2022, has resulted in numerous instances where Foster Farms has suspended its production and distribution of feed for tens of thousands of dairy cattle and tens of millions of chickens and turkeys," end quote. It's like a domino, and it's not impossible for these delays to create shortages, which in turn will hike prices up. Food seems to be like gold in New York City, as stores are now considering locking up their food as theft continues to terrorize them.
Well, grocery store owners, they are fed up with shoplifting surge across the city. They want tougher punishments to stop repeat offenders.
It's crazy that we even have to talk about it like this, right? Well, there's a new coalition calling on city and state leaders to help in their fight. Joining us now, two leaders of the Coalition Action to Protect Our Stores Coalition, Frank Marte of the Bodega and Small Business Group, and Nelson Eusebiano of the National Supermarket Association. Nice to have you both here. Nelson, what's the problem? What are you seeing right now in your stores?
The problem is that people have no fear of coming into your store and stealing and putting something into their pockets, into their bags. Once they put it into their pockets and their bags, they feel this belongs to me and you can't take it away from me.
Where are we going with this? I'm concerned, are grocery stores going to wind up like pharmacies? Like you go in there, you can't get toothpaste without like flagging somebody down for help.
Well, that's something that we are fighting to get that protection. That's why even when we ask to the elected official or the DA that it need to be consequence.
Nelson, are we in danger of like seeing food locked up?
Exactly right, and that's what we're fighting. Right now, we sell everything that's cosmetics, shampoos, baby formula behind the counters. And it's going to get to be more and more of that happening. We're going to have an environment where everything is going to be behind the counter, and the shopping experience is going to be gone. You're not going to be able to go and smell the fruits, read the ingredients, look at a recipe. That's going to disappear if we don't do something now.
We're watching our way of life crash and burn, folks. This is the end game. When people start stealing food instead of items that they can sell, they're not looking for money anymore. They just want to eat. That's how dire the situation can be. Our economy is not fixed, not by a long shot. We have people applying for SNAP and EBT benefits, lining up for food banks. Nah, we're not all just fine. Just to make it even more clear for those who want to say that the economy is doing well, check this out. Container volumes at the twin ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach are not seeing much business. In fact, it is the opposite, and it's signaling a sinking economy. Just how much usually goes through the ports? Oh well, 40% of all containerized flow goes through them. But since consumers can hardly buy imported goods, we're not seeing 100 or more cargo ships backed up just to unload their goods. But yeah, let's continue to say that the economy is doing great. The flow of goods has become eerily quiet, much like our cash flow. The thing I want you guys to realize is that inflation has really limited our purchasing opportunities as well. Now, if we look back to 2022, we would see inflation. It hit a few core categories pretty dang hard. I mean, look at this. Eggs went up by almost 60%. Fuel oil rose 41.5%. Airfare rising almost 30%. White bread increased by 17.7%. Rental properties by 8.3%. Health insurance by 8%. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And I can report on all necessities where price hikes have happened. So again, I have to ask you guys, because you're a sharp community, you guys see through these things. Are these signs for the Fed to pivot? Or should they just continue on with the rate hikes aggressively? Drop me a quick comment down below. The cost of living is now catching up to most of us. For others, the cost of living has already left them in the dust. They're done. They've already been wiped out. Although hope is not lost. Now, if you're interested in learning more, maybe I can be of service. And if you're interested in starting side hustles or even an online business, perhaps a small business, even for the very first time for beginners, feel free to join us over in the Patreon community. There is a link in the description down below. In this group, we discuss creating multiple streams of income, starting a small business, even just a side hustle to get things going. If you guys are interested in that, definitely hit the link in the description down below to join our Patreon community. Now, before I go, don't forget to drop a thumbs up for the video. Also subscribe to the channel. That way you don't have to worry about missing out on your daily dose of the truth. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. You guys be safe.